Hey, welcome to a live stream on a Wednesday night. My name's Richard. This is the First Layer Live. I decided we'd do something different this Wednesday and do a live show and talk about the things I really liked in 2020 for 3D printing, some of the things that I found were very useful. Good evening from Stephen Friend. He says 2020 wasn't all bad. You're absolutely right about that. He says, I started 3D printing in January and now I have 2 printers and have a great time working with different plastics. Awesome. Really, really cool. Love that. Want to talk about some of the printers that I really liked from 2020 this year. This in no way is a buying guide. I see we've got a few people that are still kind of hanging out. No way is this a buying guide. This is more of some of the things that I found very useful that we've either reviewed on the show or I've used or I've printed, or things that make your life a little bit easier when it comes to 3D printing. Now, my lovely wife Jerry is over on her side of the room. We have a big piece of tape that separates us, and she is looking at the chats tonight, and we'll be putting them up on the screen as they come by. We do have Super Chat turned on tonight. You can use it. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it does go to helping us improve things around here for the show. Let's first and foremost get into saying hello to Andrew Humphrey, who's in our chat room, and Stephen Friend, who is in our chat room. We've got 23 people watching. So let's just dive right in. And we're not going to have a lot of fancy graphics, except maybe this one. You'll see this. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. If you are new here, I want you to put new in the comments or in the chat tonight so I know who you are and where you're from. And if you are new here, welcome for your first time. This is a show that explores the world of 3D printing. On Wednesdays, we usually have a pre-recorded show that we do. However, this Wednesday, we're not going to. We're going to do a live stream. And we usually have a live stream every Saturday night called TFL Live Ask for Help. That is a show where you can ask your questions to us, myself and Brian Baker, my co-host, about 3D printing, the problems you may have, maybe some of the successes you're having. We take it all and we try and answer your questions as best we can. We're not experts, but we've been doing this for a while and we do really enjoy what we do. So let's get on to the first thing that I liked this year, and it's the Minga D2. The Minga D2 is a Cartesian-based 3D printer that is a direct drive printer, for one. I'm looking at the screen here, so if my eyes aren't looking at you, don't be offended. It's all metal intelligent 3D printer. I really like this printer. They sent me one for review. We did do a review on this one, and some of the things that really stood out to me was the fact that it uses, first of all, a normal SD card, a regular size SD card. It's got a great touch screen. It's got a good solid bed. The direct drive works amazingly well. Very easy to put together, and it has filament out and power outage detection. A nice big USB on the front, so you don't have to go around and hunt for it. Here are just some of the features. There's a high precision printing, which we know about already. The LED light, which they still have to do some tweaking in the firmware because you should be able to switch it to a different color if you want, but sometimes you can't. Good evening, Rex Waldy and Greg R. And who else we got there? 3-second cover. Good evening as well. It does heat up really quickly. The Z-axis screws are perfect. It has dual Z-axis screws. Resume printing, as I said, and silent printing. It has a 32-bit board with 2208 steppers on that board. And it is so, like I said, it's so easy to put together. If you look at this image here, basically it's 4 screws here and 3 screws there to hold that on, and you're up and running. And the print volume is pretty generous at 230 by 230 by 260. A little bit more than an Ender 3, but everything's encased And the fact that it has that double lead screw really made a huge difference in this printer. And as far as price goes, it's right around the same price as an Ender 3. We are going to be doing more work with Minga in the future, just so you guys know. They are not a sponsor of the channel going into 2021, but we are going to be working with them on a whole nother level as we move forward into 2021. It is FDM right out of the box. It can print PLA. ABS is a little suspect because ABS really needs to have an enclosure, but it's very easy to put an enclosure around this printer. It will do flexibles, wood, copper, gradient colors. There's a whole bunch of different things that it can do. Gary T, welcome. We've got Gary 62, welcome. And Wellington, welcome from Montreal. Awesome. Again, if you're new here, put new in the comments or in the chat, and we will be able to say hello to you and welcome you to the show for the first time. So the 3.5-inch touchscreen is great. It's color. It's easy to manage. I really, really like this printer. It's a workhorse around here. We use it pretty much every day. And when we are using it, it is just, like I said, it's just a workhorse. There's nothing that really goes wrong with it, unless you give it to my wife and she unlevels the bed. But that's totally different.
It's right, not my fault.
She keeps saying it's not her fault. So with that said, if you guys have any printers that you like this year, put them up in the chat. Chat's over here for me tonight. It will be right here for me within the next day or two. So when we do our Saturday Night Live show, I will shave. I should have shaved today, but I am wearing my t-shirt here. Hello from Florida, John Kitchen. Hello, John Kitchen. So I'm wearing this is another one of my favorite things this year. This is Print, or iPrint PETG. I also have one that says iPrint PLA. It is our TheFirstLayer Star Wars-esque t-shirt. There's Gary L. From Cochrane. Hello, Gary. Welcome. I know the pandemic's been getting everybody down, and especially if you're in Alberta right now. They just announced a 4-week lockdown. Worst time of year to do it. They should have done it 6 weeks ago, but that's neither here nor there. But at this time and place, I think that we all need to do our part to slow the spread, and staying home. We got to stay home. We got to stay home. I have a 2.3 bluer. That's a 2 trees bluer. Super good entry-level computer or printer, pardon me. That is an excellent printer. I have a 2 trees bluer plus upstairs in the review room right now, and it is how can I say, not great. It jams every time I put a filament in, and I've tried many different filaments. It's something in the hot end. I'm going to have to take it apart and have a look at it and fix it up before I can use it properly. And then a review will be coming out about the Bluer Plus. And then once the review comes out, it's going over to Brian's place because I don't have any room for more printers here. I'm now having to put them in different rooms. I even have one in the laundry room right now. So yeah, we're running out of printer space. As you can see behind me, we have a empty space here, but this is going to be a staging area for printers as they come in, and we're testing them. We're doing B-roll production on them and that sort of thing. So getting back to the Minga D2, Minga also has a variety of other printers as well. They have the D3 Pro, and I believe they have a D4. If I just go back up to their homepage here, well, let's just go to their homepage. So you can see, well, that was quick. So here is the D2, and then there, I believe, is the D3. There's the D3 Pro, which has a BL Touch on it. And then, of course, they've got the D4 Pro, which is a 400 by 420 by 420. Really nice, big printing. Sandy A, staying home and printing a full-size R2-D2. Awesome! John says he just tested positive today, and I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing well, and I really do hope that things are better for you in the very near future. Josh Withrow, I get under 3 non-pro about 1 month. Oh, I think you're meaning the Ender 3 non-pro about a month ago, and it's been running non-stop. Any bad prints have turned out to be profile related. Still learning. Profiles can be an issue. Now, what I do, and it's usually, again, it's not the profile, it's the file itself. It's actually the STL. I've tested this numerous times on different printers with different slicing programs, and it usually turns out that it's the STL. Now, one of the things about profiles is that I always use the stock profile. I don't mess with it. Those stock profiles are tuned really, really well. I find, especially in Cura, which I've been using more and more over the last year and 2 years, I don't think I've used Simplify 3D now for over a year as my regular slicer. I've been using Cura for the past year or more, and I got to tell you, Cura has really stepped up its game. What else we got there, my love?
That's it.
That's it? Nothing yet? Okay, let's move on to the next thing that I really liked this year, and this is not an IDEX printer, but it is a printer that I was sent. I did a review on it. It's called the Flashforge Creator Max. This guy is selling for $879 in the US. This is a really nice printer. I got to tell you, from everything that I've done with this printer, I use it strictly for ABS. I gave my Wanhao Duplicator 6 to Brian and Jess, and now I exclusively print on this thing. Yes, it's a little bit of a smaller print volume, but the plus side of this Flashforge is that it allows me to print with a water-soluble material and another material. Or I can do dual color, or I can do duplicates. There's a whole lot of things that I can do with it. It comes with its own software called Flash Creator. Really like that software. It's pretty easy to use, very easy to set up. If you connect your computer to the printer itself, you can actually send files directly from the Flashforge Creator program, and you can monitor things. They don't have a camera in them. That's the only thing I really would have liked them to have. But, you know, other than that, this thing prints great. I did do a couple of upgrades to the back just because the spool holders that they have are designed for the spools that they sell. So if you go on to Thingiverse, you'll find that there are tons of different spool holders for the Creator Pro, which is exactly the same footprint as the Creator Max.
It's super loud. I hate it.
My wife says it's super loud. She hates it, but it gives really good prints. You can't deny that. Gary L says, I'm retired and I got my first printer on Amazon Prime Day this year, a Anycubic Chiron, and it's rarely idle. Learned a lot from your Saturday shows. Well, thank you very much. And I hope that you're printing a lot of stuff. Now, if you guys are printing stuff, go ahead and share it on our community tab here on YouTube, or you can put it on our Facebook group. Just go look for the First Layer group on Facebook if you're not a member there. It costs you nothing to become a member, and it is really, really great. Andrew Humphrey says, I'm printing Anakin's lightsaber. Plan to plate it in nickel for my older brother. Awesome. Anakin's lightsaber, I've seen where guys have actually plated PLA in electroplating, and it looks amazing. The secret to it, though, is make sure you do the prep work. Get rid of all of those layer lines, because if you go to get it nickel plated afterwards and you haven't done a really meticulous job of cleaning up that print, every little flaw is going to show up, and it could be a waste of money having it nickel plated. Or if you're nickel plating it yourself, that's something we'd like to know about. Oh, now, getting back to the Flashforge, it is a full steel construction. This is one of the coolest things about this. This is roughly the same size as the Idea Maker from Dremel. You pick this up and you pick up the Dremel one will just flex all over the place. This one, because it has a steel in structure, doesn't flex at all. And once you've leveled that bed, you shouldn't have to re-level it for quite some time. It will print ABS. It prints ABS just fine. STL OBJ, it will print. It is a full-size SD card again, just so you guys know. The print volume is not great. Again, it's pretty small in terms of the print volume. Your bed size is 127 or 227, pardon me, by 148 by 150. So it's not huge, but let me tell you, I use this thing quite often. And the maximum extruder temperature is 240. So you can get up there to print some pretty hot stuff. Now, there are upgrades for this that you can get. You can upgrade the whole extruder and hot end system so that you can go a little hotter. I have to look into it a little bit more just to see exactly how that's done, but it's been printing fine for me. I haven't even changed the nozzles on either one of the print heads since I got it. So I've had it almost a year now, I would think. Yep, he says, I'm planning it myself, or you're plating it yourself, and I'm doing all the prep work. Awesome. I would love to see pictures of that when you are done. If you can, do a little video on it. We'll throw it on one of our shows and show people exactly what you've done, if you want to go that route. So yes, the Flashforge Creator Pro or Creator Max is one of my favorites. Now I've got another one from Flashforge coming up in the new year that you guys are really going to enjoy. It is a true IDEX system. It's not ready for release, but that's about all I can tell you in terms of that this evening. Oh, hey, we got DeWitt. There's Tim, our good friend. And Tim, yes, I will come over and help you. I saw your video today. I will come over and help you build that new machine. Andrew says, we can hear her. So people can hear you, honey.
Yeah, but my headset's down, so I can't hear anybody but you.
That's all you need to hear is me.
Yeah, I know, but you're 7 seconds.
Oh, I'm...
It's 7 seconds behind.
No, just listen to me. You just can't get them to listen. I love her, though. Yes, I do.
It's only because I feed him.
She's a great baker, too. She's making cookies tomorrow, which is another one of my favorite things in 2020. But that's going to be my favorite thing in 2021, 2022, and beyond. And it was in the last 26 years that we've been together. So, have we got any more questions coming up, hon? From Jedi Kitty 06. Oh,
It's an awesome name.
What's that?
It's an awesome name.
It is an awesome name. It is. I have an Ender 3 Pro, and the Overture PETG never prints right, but I switched to PLA, and it prints fine. With that, I don't know why. I think that's all. We can only get 200 characters up here, so I'll tell you why. Partially because PETG needs to be printed a little bit hotter, and it needs to have a little bit more squish. So if you're running it on a glass bed on the Ender 3 Pro, the Ender 3 Pro, the newer versions have that that glass bed. Let me know if you've got that glass bed, Jedi. If it's got the glass bed with the grid on it, with the black grid on it, flip it over to the side that has no grid on it. Put a little bit of glue stick down, and that should print just fine. And you are going to experience stringing with PETG because it absorbs moisture quite fast, much like nylon absorbs moisture from the air. So I would go ahead and if you can dry it, if you can't, and you are going to end up with stringing. So you should have some success because I print PETG on mine all the time and I have no problem with it whatsoever. I do get stringing, but that's because of the moisture. From Stephen Friend, he says, I have an Ender 3 Pro and love it. The best part is the ease of adding models like or mods like the Microswitch Direct Drive, all metal hot end, Big Tree SKR Mini E3 version 2 motherboard, BL Touch, and touchscreen. Those are some of my favorite things too. Actually, I really like the Big Tree boards or the SKR boards by Big Tree. I don't have one on my screen, but I can actually show you one right here. We will go to my top-down view. Here we have one right here. And I love these boards. This one, I just took out of a machine because I updated it to a newer board, but this is the E3 Dip 1.1. There's now a 1.2 or a 1.3 board on this. I guess let me just cut to this camera. There we go. Got to remember to cut to cameras. So as you can see here, we've got 4 stepper drivers. You'll notice I've got different heat sinks on them. That's because the fan was right here in the Ender 3. So I had to leave room for the fan and the wiring to go by. These heat sinks are way too tall, as you can see there from the side view. But this board still works fine. I could throw it into a machine tomorrow and it would work absolutely great. You are very welcome, Jedi Kitty 06. Now let's go to this particular favorite thing of mine. With the Ender Extender 3 400 by 400 by 500, do you think I should go with Dual Z? Absolutely. If you're going that big, you go Dual Z. Absolutely. All right, so filaments.ca. Now, if you're in Canada, I can't recommend these guys strongly enough. They are a great company. They have great product. Now, with the shortage of filaments that we've seen all over the world this year, their Econofill is just fine. I know I've said in the past that Econofills usually have everything but the kitchen sink in them. In the case of filaments.ca, their Econofill is actually really done well. And they sell printers, they sell, accessories and resins and filaments. Their 3D filaments, and we've talked about this stuff here, the cleaning and purge filament. Not a bad stuff. I've used it. I don't mind it. The Econofill is good, but the EcoTough is the one that I really like. And I just want to see if we can find their EcoTough here. This is a brand that's new to them. This is the Hello 3D. This is brand new to these guys. And you can save 25% off to get a roll for $22.95. That's actually really good. But their EcoTough, ECO Tough PLA is the stuff that I use. I love it. It works great. They just don't have it in my color. So I have to find somebody who can do it in my colors. And they have all kinds of different brands as well. As you can tell, they've got Form Futura, they've got Color Fab, they have all different kinds. Andrew says, I got a BTT board for my CR6. We'll be installing it this weekend. Awesome. Awesome. Hopefully that worked out really well for you. Just got my Creality LD-002R and will be upgrading my CR4S with the BL Touch and Bondtech dual drive extruder after this stream, so I can wait your toots on these to upgrade parts. Yes, we will be doing tutorials on some of that stuff. I have a Bondtech video up there already, but I don't have a dual, I do have a BL Touch one up there as well. Yeah, okay, so both of those are up there. Hi, I'm Sachin. Hi, Sachin. I seem to just have tiny issues with finishing off my projects, just tiny little gaps. Checking the bed level, try at a different level heat, not sure what else to do. Sachin, first and foremost, you want to make sure that that bed is completely level to your hot end. Now, the way that I do it is I go, let me just switch cameras here. The way that I do it is I go in a crisscross pattern, okay? Just like that. So it'll go up, down, across, and down. Up, down, across, and down. The reason that I do that is because when the bottom left corner is being adjusted, the top right corner is going to change. It's like a seesaw, okay? So I try and get those all as close as I can using the paper method. And you want to make sure that your bed and your hot end are both heated up. Remove your filament so that no filament is coming out. Heat it up long enough so that whatever remaining filament is in there is just going to come out. And then you should be fine to level out that bed. And I think you'll find that your prints come out a little bit better. Okay? Luke Murray says, I fixed my layer inconsistency issue for the most part. Turns out all it took was lubricating the lead screws. There you go. Sometimes a little lubrication goes a long way into fixing problems that we can't find. And there goes my wife laughing again. There she goes laughing again. So another one of my favorite things, like I was saying, is filaments.ca. If you are in Canada and you are looking for, even if you're in the States, doesn't matter where you are, these guys will ship all over the world and really like them. They do a really great job. I've tried some of this Indigo PLA. It really works great as well. So give them a try. You know, if you're interested in some of their products, give them a try. Sometimes they're out of stock on stuff. Sometimes they're not. So, but they are one of my favorite retailers of 2020. And I have a few other things that we're going to talk about here. DeWitt, I had the 31-hour print fail on the CR6SD after 23 hours, came off the bed. Bed was cold, cleared it, did a preheat, and the bed heated up fine. Any idea why the bed would have cooled off mid-print? Check the settings on that printer and make sure that there's not a setting that is set to eco or economy. Or energy saving. If there's an energy saving box there, make sure that it's turned off, because it does this on the Pro as well, on the CR-10S Pro. There's a button in the menu system that if you've got it turned on, it will shut off the bed after a certain amount of time, and it doesn't turn it back on. So check that, Tim. Oh, I just cleared one there, honey. The one that you put up after Tim. There we go. Tony Grant, was too bad at all. Only issue I hadn't fixed is filament sensor, which I think the wiring is different on the board. I have the CR-10S. When you're adding a BL Touch to the CR-10S, there's two wires that have to be flipped from one port to the other. There's a great video on it, right on actually Creality's website. They actually show you which two that have to be flipped and where to actually plug it in on the board. But that should, or your filament sensor. I'm sorry, you're talking about the filament sensor. The filament sensor, are you using the stock filament sensor on the CR-10S? If you are, that could be a problem. I've actually replaced mine and got a totally different one in there. What happens is that little micro switch, the lever, the metal lever that pushes down the actual switch, that breaks really easy. So you might want to have a look at that. Now moving on to one of my favorite things of 2020 was this STL from Nico Industries, and it was the Mandalorian helmet. Which we printed, as you guys know. We started to finish it. Then it went to a brand new home. It went over to my friend Ben Eady, who has a channel here on YouTube as well. He shows you all kinds of weird stuff. Ben works in the movie industry, making props and things like that. And he needed a helmet so that he could show something, and I just happened to have mine, which wasn't finished, so I gave it to him. And we will be printing another Mandalorian helmet. Now, this helmet is a great file. It all prints as one piece. It looks great. It fits great. It's not completely accurate to the TV show, but none of them are. This is very close, though. I mean, if you wanted to go trooping in something like this, you could certainly do that. Let's open up a bigger picture of it. This is an amazing helmet. He's done a great job. Some of the details are a little soft in some areas, but at the end of the day, I will say that Nico's helmets are probably some of the nicest helmets I've seen in terms of STLs online.
I spent hours sanding that helmet, and he
My
gave
wife
it
has
away.
said she spent hours and hours
They
and
can hear me.
doing that. And you know, for $20, that's not bad for an STL of that quality. Now, he's got other ones as well. You can get Batman cowls. He's got all kinds. Go ahead and check out his armory. He's got tutorials, profiles that you can download as well for the helmets. Nico is a great guy, and his products print really well. So it's something I would definitely check out. What do we got in the comment section here? Pab TV, what replacement CR-10S filament sensor do you recommend? I recommend the one that I haven't installed yet, which I believe is right here. Nope, that's not it. That's a brand new board. I know I've got one. Where I put it is a whole nother situation. The one that I do recommend, though, is filament sensor either from SKR or Big Tree. The Big Tree filament sensor works really, really well, but it can't go before the extruder. It has to go after the extruder. That's one of the things that you can do, and it's easy to set up to your printer as well. There's a whole tutorial on how to do stuff like that as well. So that would be the one that I would go for, is the one from Big Tree Tech. Any other questions there? Nope. Hey, there we go. Okay, let's move on to my next favorite thing. After I have a drink out of my my Batman mug. And it's just straight Coke. There's no libations in there this evening. My next favorite thing, and you guys hear me talk about this all the time, is Micro Swiss. Micro Swiss all metal hot end kits for the CR-10, CR-10S, CR-20, Ender 2, 3, 5 printers. At $63.50 US, it is a good investment. And the reason I say that it's an investment is because this is a hot end, if you do it right, will last you a long, long time. And it's a direct drop-in replacement for the existing hot end that is in your Creality printer right now. So it's very easy. It comes with everything that you need: the heat block, the throat, the nozzle, the cooling fins, a sock. Everything that you need to put this thing together is right there for you. Now, you'll notice on the cool section of the heat sink of the unit that it's got two little holes down here. Well, you don't have to use those two little holes, because this thing lines up perfectly every time. It's going to stay square, because this is the throat. There is not a long throat in this thing, so your Bowden tube is only going to come down just about as far as this thicker piece on the heatsink, and that's it. So the Bowden tube doesn't go all the way down into the actual heated zone. So you're going to get good prints all the time, every time. I never have a problem with this particular one. What's the difference between the Creality 422 and the 427 boards? Joey, I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. I haven't seen the new Creality boards, the 4.27 boards. But I will look them up and hold on to that question for Saturday night, if you can, Joey. And I will do some research into that, and we'll talk a little bit about that on Saturday night. All right. I know I saw another question there from MicroSwiss about MicroSwiss stuff, but I don't know if Jerry has seen it yet. Can you tell MicroSwiss to make one for the CR6 SC? Well, I can put it in there, Andrew. I don't know if they're going to listen to me or not, but I can always put it in there. Now, again, MicroSwiss is not a company that sponsors us. We can make a suggestion to them. We know we've talked about them a lot on our show. One of the nice things here is you can shop by printer. This is very unique. Not a lot of companies have this. So if you have one of the Keydetechs, you can actually shop for your hot ends for the Keydetech. If you've got a Prusa, a Monoprice, a Lulzbot, a Flashforge, and we know that I've got a Flashforge. Creality, look at all the different ones. So there are quite a few different hot ends that you can go with for MicroSwiss. I like their product. It works well. It's a little bit lower priced than an E3D, but the plus on the side of MicroSwiss is their direct drop-in replacement. You don't have to go ahead and buy any additional brackets or print any additional brackets or anything like that. You drop them in, you're done. So that's one of the things I really, really like about MicroSwiss and their products. And their products are machined really well as well. Let's give you a little behind the scenes look at what you guys see or don't see when we're here on the show. Here, you can see that I'm here. You can hardly hear me now, but this camera here is the one that we use when we're doing the new show. We're using this camera. We're also using it for prints on the table when something is printing when we do the live show. So, and then you can see the monitors we have here. This is just a television up here. We haven't got it hooked up to the computer, but we do have a new monitor sitting up here that we're just waiting for a cable for, and it should be here tomorrow. So that monitor will be working, so my attention can be focused this way when we do the live streams. And over on this one, of course, is all of the YouTube metrics right now. So that is what's going on there. And what you see in front of me is vMix, which is the software which I use to produce this show and get everything up and running for you guys. So I hope you like that little behind the scenes look. Are there any more questions there, hon? Or
Nope.
comments? Look over at her, because she knows.
Can you not hear me?
I can't hear you. You have to talk. I can't hear you. I'm not wearing headphones.
You silly man. They can hear me when I'm talking.
Yes, they can hear you, but I only hear you when you talk.
Oh, okay.
Don't whisper. Talk
Okay.
your normal voice.
Okay.
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 She wants to be on the show, but she doesn't want to be on the show.
Not really. He just makes me do it.
I don't make you do anything. Well, that's not true. I make her make cookies for me. Cookies are good. Cookies are really good.
Yeah.
What do we got there?
Your next favorite thing.
My next favorite thing. Get her. Tony Grant says get her. I think there was a 3-second cover. What did he put up there? There's a comment from 3-second cover. There we go. The 2.7 board has the TMC 2226 drivers. Okay, there you go. I didn't know that. Like I said, I haven't looked into those boards at all yet. I've kind of been shied away from Creality for a while. Now, that's not to say that there's products that I think are bad with Creality. I just think that There's a lot more offerings coming out that are just as good, if not better. The Minga that I talked about at the top of the show is a great printer. It rivals the Ender 3 in a lot of ways. It's a little bit more robust and you can move a little faster with it. Even though it does have the extruder and assembly all as one direct drive unit, which adds a little bit of weight, but it compensates for that by having that additional lead screw. I really like that one. All right, so now let's move on to my next favorite thing of this year, of 2020, and that's the Titan extruder. Now, the Titan extruder has been around for a while. E3D is the ones who have done the Titan extruder, but many printers now have copied that design because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is open source. Most of their stuff is open source. So there's a lot of companies that are coming on board that are making Titan-esque style extruders. And I think if you are going to have a Bowden system or you know, a Bowden setup printer like the Ender 3, this type of extruder is great if you want to start using flexible filaments with it. I have one on one of my printers upstairs, and actually on two of them. They're both knockoffs, but I have one on. What's that?
Trader.
Trader? What do you mean trader?
Never mind.
I have no idea what she's talking about. She's lives in her own little world. But the Titan extruder will allow you to put different materials through that would not normally go through a regular style extruder, just because of the way that it's put together. And you can dial it in as well, the tension, which is kind of nice. Any thoughts on the Voron machine, Patrick Callahan? Voron, I've seen a couple of guys that have made them. There's a company here in Calgary that is making them for customers. I don't remember their name. The Voron kind of came and went. I think it's a good printer because of the design. I like the design of the Voron. I just think that it's a lot of money for a printer that you're self-building. If you can't source the parts, Patrick, for fairly cheap. Oh, I let that last one go.
Why do you keep doing that?
I think that the Voron is a good machine. I think it can be made into a bigger machine. But at 300 by 300, it's a solid machine. It's just, I don't think that the cost, is worth building it on my own. I could buy something just as good for less money. Will the SKR Big Tree sensor work with the CR-10S board? I'm planning to use the Easy ABL with the TH3D firmware Pab TV. I can't say I'm a huge fan of the Easy ABL. I'm not a big fan of the TH3D firmware. Tim does a great job, don't get me wrong. I've known Tim now for a few years, and Tim does a great job on his stuff. At the end of the day, the Big Tree sensor will work on the board. You're just going to have to make sure that all the pins are going to the right place. And there is, I believe, videos out there on how to connect it. I haven't put mine on yet. Brian's put one on, and he hasn't shown us how to connect it yet, but he will. Maybe I'll make a video on that. I've got one here. I'll put a video on it. And I think the Easy ABL, I think you're going to get bigger bang for your buck by going to a, what are they called? The little guys. Do I have one here? I should have one around somewhere. I've got one somewhere.
We don't know what you're looking for.
I'm looking for an ABL. Nope, it's not in there. I have more boxes around here than I know what to do with. BL Touch is the word I was looking for. I think the BL Touch is a far better sensor than any of the sensors that are out there today. It's a far superior sensor to anyone that's on the market today, in my opinion. Have you seen or worked with any of the dies design extruders? I have not. Andrew, I would love to see that, and I'll have to look at them and maybe see if they can send us one in the new year so we can have a look at it. Absolutely. Wow, this hour is really going fast. Could a bad USB drive cause a printer to just suddenly stop mid-print? Nozzle hot, bed hot, just stops. Flashforge Creator 3. 2 successful, 2 color prints, and 2 failures because it just stopped. An SD card, a bad SD card will cause that issue, yes. Bad USB drive, did your computer go to sleep? Because that's the only way it would stop if you're direct connected to a computer, is if the computer went into sleep mode. If it does, it's going to cause you issues. So that could be the issue. Now, it could have a bad USB port. Chances are that I think it's either going to be the cable or the fact that your computer went to sleep. Okay, Tim? Now, I talked about the Titan extruder already. Here is another one of my favorite things from this year. Have you ever used a Flexion extruder? Yes, Hammer of Doom, I have used a Flexion extruder. I like them. I think they're overpriced, but because of other offerings that are on the market now. But they do work. They do work well. There's a good line and good company that backs up that extruder. So if you want to spend the money, I mean, it's like either buying the Ford or the Cadillac of extruders, right? And I would think Flexion to me is one of the Cadillac extruders. It's probably one of the older ones that have been around in the 3D printing space for a while. But there are newer ones that are less expensive and that do the same job. Does Minga Machines have a 2208 in UART? I do not know. I've never checked that out. I will have to talk to them. I have a direct line to them, so when I am talking to them in the next couple of days, I will let you know. I believe it is in UART, though. I'm going to guess that it's in UART. All right, let's move over to... Hey, there's Paul Cumber. Hi, Paul. Hello again, all. There's Mark L. Baker. You have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Paul, you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year as well. Happy holidays to everybody and their families. We're not done yet. Our last show, I believe, is on the 19th, isn't it? I believe our last show of this year is going to be on the 19th. So we've got 2 more Saturdays, this coming Saturday and the following Saturday. And then we're done for the year. And then we'll be back in January with brand new stuff. So here is another one of my favorite things from Ibos. This is the Cyclops filament dryer. It will hold a single roll, a dual roll, 2 rolls, or 4 half rolls, pardon me. This thing works great. I've got it up in my printer room, and it was on Kickstarter. It's not on Kickstarter anymore. It really does do a great job on drying out your plastic. So if it's got moisture in it, it really does do an amazing job. And they've got a lot of science behind it to support it. This is probably one of the best filament dryers I've used in the last couple of years. I've used the eSun one, and Brian's got himself one of those dehydrators at home. He's got the one from... or the latest one that came out that everybody was wondering if they were going to get it on their Kickstarter, which I can't remember the name of. If somebody knows the name, please put it in the comments. Yeah, this one here, this is an amazing little heater. You can see there it tells you exactly what temperatures to use, and it will dry all of these filaments. So, and when it's done, it shuts itself off. So that's another bonus. It works in both 110 and 220, so it'll work all around the world. It does have a humidity monitor right on the front. It does a great job. So if you're interested in one of these, I would get in touch with Evos and see if you can get one. They might even be on Amazon now. I'm not exactly sure if they're on Amazon yet or not. But it is a great little filament dryer. I love it. Digital, all push button. Nothing wrong there. Sunlu filament dryer, that's the one. Yeah, Brian's got the Sunlu. He doesn't like it. And I've seen some other videos where people are not real happy with it. It doesn't circulate. There's no fan inside. Whereas with the Cyclops, if we go back to the Cyclops here, this has a fan and a heat sink down at the very bottom of the tray. And there are openings in the lid, so you can put a Teflon tube anywhere. You can actually run your filament directly out of the box and into your printer, which is kind of a nice thing. But this one circulates air because it's got a fan in it, and you can actually feel it blowing when you put your hand over a couple of the holes. There's holes on the front, on the back, and on the lower back part of that filament dryer as well. Yeah, the Sunlu filament dryer, I haven't tried it myself, but Brian's not pleased with it. He got one on Kickstarter. They offered to send me one, and it never showed up. So now, one of the last things that I want to talk about before we wrap things up tonight is this is not a 3D printing tool, but it is a tool that was sent to me, and I got to tell you, I really, really like it. It is the DJI Osmo Mobile 3. This is a handheld gimbal. Right now, I've got it on my slider in the back, and I've been using it to do B-roll, and I got to tell you, I snap in a phone. I've got an old Samsung A8 phone right here that I use with it. I could use my phone, but if I use my phone, which is the newest Samsung, I think this is the S10. This one has 4K on it, but I have to take off all of the shell and everything to use it. This one's so much easier. It does 1080. I've got the DJ Osmo app on it. It works really, really well. And this thing, if you guys are into any kind of filmmaking, YouTube videos, anything like that, this is a very cool tool, and it's just something I really like. I got to thank DJI for sending it out to me. It was not for review, because this is not the kind of product that we review on the show, but it is a great little product. We approached them asking them for one of their drones for doing our rocket stuff that we did this year, and they didn't answer us. They never said yes. They never said no. We never heard back from them. And then I got an email one day, and they said, we can't send you a drone, but we are sending you something. And this showed up in the mail. It was a complete kit. It works really, really well. I'm still learning how to use it handheld, but watch for some nice new B-roll on products that we review in the future here coming into 2021. It's a great little piece of kit. Will it work with an iPhone 12 Pro Max, as I have one on pre-order and waiting delivery? I believe the newer version, the Osmo Mobile 4 or the Oz 4, works with the newest iPhone 12. So I think they had a problem fitting in anything over the iPhone 10 into the cradle on this one. As you can see here, this one here this looks like an iPhone, an older iPhone. But you can see there how it eliminates the shake if you're following somebody behind. This thing is amazing. And you can hold the grip at a nice comfortable angle. You can do story modes with it. There's time lapses, all kinds of great stuff on the 3. And I got to tell you, I couldn't be happier with DJI on it. If you go into some of their other stuff, they've got the Mini 2. We wanted the DJI Mini. They didn't send it to us. Oh well. There's the Osmo 4. The Osmo 4 is magnetic. So you put a little thing on the back of your phone, and it magnetically adheres to the gimbal. So it makes setup really, really quick. You can use it with a clamp as well. And I know that you can use this one with newer iPhones. There you can see the little metal clip that goes onto it.
But then you've always got that thing on the back of your phone if you're using your personal phone.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
There you go. You can see the two different ones. You've got the clip or you've got the little ring. This one was really made for iPhones. I have heard that sometimes that little ring, the little magnetic ring, will prevent you from being able to charge your phone on a charging pad, like a wireless charger. So if you have a wireless charger, you may want to use the phone clamp instead of using just the little magnetic ring. But those are my favorite things of 2020. There's a lot of things I could have gone into tonight, but those are the things I wanted to share with you guys that I've had the most fun playing with this year, using companies that I have shopped with, and STLs that I absolutely love. So if you are a fan of any of that stuff, and you're looking for something to get for yourself, might be a way to go. Steven Spielberg has competition now. A lot of filmmakers up and coming because of these technologies. Yeah, there are. There's tons of filmmakers. Now, you know, with phones getting better and better and better, and attachments, like you can get monitors free, additional monitors for your phone. You can get different lenses for your phone. You know, there's all kinds of accessories now that you can buy for your phone. Like this one here. I used to have a lens set that I had with this phone. I gave that lens set to my nephew when he was here in the summertime because I wasn't using this phone. I had moved, of course, to my newer phone. But I can tell you that, you know, with a lens set on this phone, the DJI Osmo 3, and putting it on my slider, man, I got some beautiful pan shots on my slider with that the other day. And you just basically lock onto the subject that you want. You hold the trigger, you slide it down the slider, and because everything's nice and rigid, you don't get any wobble. So I've got a big 4-foot slider here that's motorized, so it is just a manual slider. And I can tell you, when you're trying to concentrate and do a slow move across a product, it it can be challenging because you can go slow and then accidentally speed up and then slow back down again. And when you're trying to do that in post, trying to clean that up in post, it becomes really hard. But with that DJI Osmo 3 gimbal and this phone here, I was able to get some really nice pan shots locked in on the product. So I got a really nice kind of parallax. We've set up a little area behind me here that you guys can't see, where we do all of our product shots now and all of our B-roll instead of doing them upstairs. We just bring them down here because by the time we bring them down here, they're ready for, we've done all the testing and they're really ready for us to show you guys. So yeah, we hope to do more work with companies like Filaments.ca in the future, Flashforge, Microswiss. We hope to work with all these companies. And like I said, we're going to be doing more work with Minga. I can't tell you a lot about the details on that yet, but we do have some great things coming from Minga. And we are expanding our shop, TheFirstLayer.com, where you can find this t-shirt, I print PETG, I print PLA, or I print ABS, over on our shop, TheFirstLayer.com. That is where you can get your t-shirts. And all the t-shirts are coming out of Calgary here. So they're not coming from Teespring. You can still buy from Teespring if you want. If you're down in the States or anywhere else, you might want to go through Teespring to get them. But I can tell you that these ones are beautiful quality, and they're made right here locally, and we ship them out right from the house. So they might take a little longer to get sometimes, but we are trying to get that part of our business up and running. And with that said, we are going to be offering parts pretty soon as well, and maybe as things go along, we may start offering some filament, and we may start offering some printers. So We're going to start with parts and t-shirts first, and we'll go from there. And that looks like we are at 8 o'clock. Wow, that was a quick hour. I can't believe that went so fast. I want to thank you guys all for joining me tonight. Remember, we are live again on Saturday night with TFL Live Ask for Help, where we answer your questions. We've got some questions to answer in the queue this week that came in through email. You can still submit your questions via email with pictures up until Friday night. And we will have a look at those, and we will get them on the show for you. That goes to questions@TheFirstLayer.com. Let me see if I can move over here so I'm in the right spot. So questions@TheFirstLayer.com, and you can send that to us. And Friday night is usually the cutoff for any new questions. I know some people will sneak them in during Saturday during the day, but
That's okay.
you know, it's okay. We try and get it everybody as best we can. And then with that said, I want to thank you guys again for joining me tonight and letting me talk about some of my favorite things. I hope you guys have some favorites from this year, and we will see you again on Saturday night for TFL Ask for Help. Until then, remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great print. Until next time, my friends, bye.
There.